Full Sail's educators use a variety of methods to communicate with students, provide feedback on assignments, and support the learning process. Each teacher chooses the best methods for their specific class. This video outlines just a few examples of how that communication happens across our degree programs.
What makes learning online at Full Sail so unique is how it is a very flexible schedule while you're learning a very demanding skill. Through the use of third-party communication tools, we can have video meetings, group chats, we can have global communication with the entire degree. Part of the online structure are video meetings where we're sharing our screens and demonstrating techniques. A little more of a traditional classroom where you can attend and see a demonstration. In the later part of the degree, when things get a little more specific to your portfolio, we start using them for sort of mandatory one-on-one meetings where the students sign up for times when they're available. And then as a team, the faculty and groups will go in there and meet with the students to make sure that a portfolio project is on the right path. We also use Slack as almost a catch-all for communication across the degree. What's nice about Slack, as opposed to these individual meetings with the students, is all the students are invited to our Slack channel, and we have specific sort of breakout teams. So I can have a section on software help, or I can have a section on critique requests. In this case, the student had a couple variations of his personal branding that he was working on, and he wanted to get some opinions from a variety of different instructors and students in which direction he should go. And again, it's going to save him a lot of time getting that feedback now rather than developing some ideas that might not work down the road. So the department chair chimed in, a couple other students chimed in, as well as instructors that he had previously. So it just allows us to have more sort of eyes on the screen looking to help. What I like so much about being a part of this online community is I get to observe the students growing from the very beginning course to the very last course. Not only are they doing the work, but they're becoming part of the online community. They're learning how to develop relationships in that environment, not only with their peers in their classes, but peers across the entire degree.
As an online student, you have access to your instructors just like you would have if you were a campus student. That means that the instructors hold office hours. Some instructors have office hours 9 to 5. Some instructors have office hours on the weekends or at night. You can reach your instructor a handful of ways. First of all, you can reach them on the phone during their normal office hours, or you can reach them via email or through the messaging system set up through FSO. One of the things that I do to create really customized interaction with my students is I create feedback videos. When a student submits their project to me, I open up their session and I make a video. I have a little pen and I'm drawing on it, kind of like a sports broadcaster would do. And I am able to provide direct video feedback of their session. These are live sessions where a student can ask a question and I can say, hey, you know what, let's connect online, and I can look at their screen and I can say, hey, maybe we should try this note there, or maybe let's put this EQ curve on. And so we're able to create direct connection through the internet using the tools that are available to us.
Hey Dave, I just had a quick question.
Hey Doug, man, what's happening?
It's actually nothing too big, but I'm just working on the EQ for these drums here, and I just can't get it to sound the way I want it to.
All right, cool. Well, here's what I'm gonna do. Do you have your Logic session ready to go?
Yeah, it's open right now.
All right, cool. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make you the presenter, which is gonna pull your screen, full screen, and we'll have a listen and go from there. Sound good?
Yeah, that's cool.
All right. Another thing I do for my students here at Full Sail is I teach virtual classes from my professional workspace that I use to create music that goes on CBS or Oxygen Network or TLC or whatever. That means that the tools you see me using are the tools I use to make music professionally in the industry. All of the students online meet up and I am able to share my screen. Students are able to share their screen. They can raise their hand. They can ask questions through the chat window. They can ask questions on the microphone. It's essentially like being in a live classroom, but instead of all being in the same building, we're all over the world.
One of the things that makes the online experience at Full Sail interesting are the tools we have access to. We use the tools that gamers are used to. In the final project, when people are giving presentations or they're doing their final presentations, we've been using Twitch to Twitch stream those so people can join in and kind of in real time interact with the people who are presenting and ask questions. Discord is kind of the go-to communication for gamers. Actually, it was made by a Full Sail grad. It gives us what we need. It gives us voice chat. It gives us screen sharing, gives us text-based interactions if we need them. If you've ever programmed, you know that the smallest mistake can make it so that you can't work anymore. And when you're at home alone and you don't have any other peers sitting next to you that you can discuss this with, that can be pretty frustrating. And the great thing about Discord here, we have this little team for my class, a channel for my class, and you'll see a lot of students will start helping each other. If I'm not available or another instructor's not available, other students that are just sitting there in the channel will start helping each other. So there's some really interesting things we're doing and trying to, again, bridge that gap between the on-campus and online experience.
Media communications is a bit different. There is an emphasis on technical skills, but there is a very heavy concentration on communication skills as well. One of the ways we provide critique on student work is to present video feedback. I use screen capture technology to go through the project, and I point out areas for the students to consider what needs to be changed and what needs to be evolved in the next iteration of the work. When students submit their portfolio websites, the first thing that I do is I load them all up in individual browser windows. Hey guys, it's your course director, Emily Ray here. Just wanted to give you some positive, productive feedback on these portfolio websites that you submitted over the weekend. So this might be the second time that you have submitted your site, and what I'm gonna do is give you some guidance on next steps and where to take this site to from here. So first up, we're gonna take a look at the site of Lorianne. So as you can see, her portfolio is centered around photography, and not only her work, but also her modeling work as well. So as these pictures are loading up, we can take a look at the way she's organizing them into categories from editorial to fashion to nature. Additionally, she is capturing her work in the form of a blog. This is a great way to contextualize the shoots and to talk more about the creative process or the creative direction that she took with all of her photography. This type of feedback is beneficial for students because it allows them to see each other's work. It allows them to learn from their mistakes and each other's design choices. When a student needs additional support, they can always reach out for one-on-one virtual meetings. In this case, we'd set up a video conferencing type platform. We can set up a screen share where the student can show me their projects and the specific portions of it that they're having trouble with. I can share my screen and projects that I've worked on in the past to display a concept or a technique to help the student through the issue they're having. I enjoy interacting with my students. The more I know about them, the better I can support their educational and professional goals.